Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. We can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. All right. Good morning, everybody. You know, I didn't have the music ready. I should, I should have that like pulled up and ready to go here before I click the play button. Let's see here. So, it is Wednesday. Nvidia earnings are today. We might get a fairly mild session again today in the treasuries, but we are like into the heat of the roll, and that's something that we're trying to understand a little bit better, how that tends to affect the flows and if there's anything about it that we can take advantage of. So let's come in and check out the charts first. If I can find it. There we go. All right. So, man, they tested, the downside pretty heavy yesterday, but I guess most of that was before our session, right? Not a whole lot of movement overnight. A little bit of a rise here that seems to be getting cut down here as we start. S&P 500 still just flat. They have like an implied volatility of like 1.5% for Nvidia earnings today. So hey, you might see some wild things. Don't be surprised if you see some sort of a trend develop late in the day from people playing the Nvidia earnings, right? Oil. Oil coming back fast. Oh man, it's so crazy. Like the difference between 77 and 74 is in terms of like sentiment and everything are massive. One is like, oh, this is so high, are we gonna get into high oil prices that cause problems again? And the other is like, oh, this is so low, like man, because oil below 70 is kind of like, what? That's, is there a recession going on? Something crazy, right? So oil coming back that quickly is a little jarring to me. Gold and silver fading a little bit, pressing the bottom side of this range. I have to say, like, gold is like at all-time highs, man. Like this should be like this amazing breakout, but that is not the sentiment that I see. Gold is not loved. It is really weird. It's like the greatest non-trend trend ever. Then we got Copper taking a big hit overnight. I wonder if there was some Chinese news that I missed there on that one. Okay, the Japanese yen still doing pretty okay. Like I would like to see a slow and steady upturn. With the dollar, maybe being even more slow and steady, but they are on the downside. That tends to be good for equities. So we're at 101 still. Oh, so that's a pretty good spot. And then we got Bitcoin. Oh, we got Bitcoin, man. So Bitcoin was out there, right? It was doing pretty good. We're like, oh, they would touch 65,000? That's pretty good. But they wiped out all of those gains in a day again. So Bitcoin continues to have this back and forth struggle, I guess you could say. It's actually getting interesting in Bitcoin. I guess I probably need to do my valuation analysis and post an update for the 2 people left that subscribe to that. All right, guys. Let's see here. Oh, where is my Discord? All right. Good morning, Octavius, Uzi, and Namrus. I'm thinking today. By the way, why is this arm up so high? I'm thinking that for today, I am going to take my bandages off. That's what I'm thinking. Because I was doing it a little bit yesterday. It was fine. The big thing was like I want to have it when I'm asleep. I want to have it when the kids are around because they'll bump it and that hurts. But I'm not gonna like swing my elbow or anything. And the only reason that they have the whole thing on there is because they don't want the stitches to come back open. Also, I don't think I should show you. Maybe I should. I mean, is that appropriate? It's kind of gross looking. I mean, it's a big red scar. There's still like blood stuck to it and everything. Well, they put like these things over it, so I'm sure that when they clean it up, that there would just be a blue scar there. But right now, it's gross. So I don't think I should show you. Maybe you catch it, but I'm gonna take this off and let it breathe. This whole thing has me thinking about stories or something in the past where they're like, oh, somebody was like faking an injury or something. And like the proof that they were faking the injury was that they could like take it off or something. And I'm like, well, but a lot of the casts and stuff that you got, you can take on and off, and you're maybe not supposed to, but like probably everybody does. Should I be concerned about these 4 ticks that we've had here in the past few minutes? Well, wait, hold on. Am I missing? 10 dead and 20 wounded, according to new toll in different areas of the West. Oh, right, because Israel is doing operations in the West Bank today. Should I do the rollover before I switch the rest of my bandage? That's actually a good point. So let's pull up ZN this time. Z and Z, right? December. I'm gonna just pull up a second DOM. Center them. Okay, so there is definitely more liquidity in the new one today, and it is first call, right? So we are supposed to roll over. Like, we shouldn't be taking trades in the old one anymore anyways. So let's roll everything. These ones down here, the micros, I can keep them there for now. And let's see here. Yeah, October is correct for the for oil. I do need to move these little tapes over, so hold on. Because the thing that I'm seeing over on my chart, because my charts rolled over, like NinjaTrader did the rollover. And what I'm seeing over there is that there was about 5,000 to 7,000 net contracts short there. So it seems to me that decline was relatively significant, and kind of like almost implying that they were moving based off of some sort of news. But there was, I just double checked here, financial news. There wasn't anything on financial news. And the only news that I'm seeing from my news squawks is about, the West Bank. Now, one thing that I am noticing here, I don't to double check here. So I was saying, gold was taking a bit of a hit. So when I look at it on this chart, it's like, okay, that's a decently sized sell. But when I look at it on the daily chart, like, holy crap, they're getting creamed. And actually, the whole complex is getting slammed here. So one thing is, it could be just a move in the dollar, because we are seeing a pretty strong rise in the dollar here and the Japanese yen moving down. So it could be a currency move. But I also think it could be related to NVIDIA earnings. Like, if they anticipate NVIDIA earnings to be really good again, because if they are, then like this market is still really strong. And that makes it a little bit more difficult to raise rates, I think. Right? So And to my initial comment that, it could be a quiet session again today, it's looking like no, it's not going to. Okay, I'll give you guys a quick peek just to prove that they really did cut open my elbow. Here you go. Oh, it doesn't look that bad on camera. Mostly because there's still the tape over top of it. Can you turn down the music? Did the music go up a little bit? I'm sorry. You know, these headphones are different, so I'm not like getting levels very well. These should be like decent headphones for mixing, but I you know, they're not super amazing. I don't think they're as good as the Pioneers were. Obviously, I don't think that. So otherwise, I wouldn't use them. Trying to think about how to hold my arm. I don't want. No. If I'm gonna be like this all day, maybe I should have my wife take one of these, take one of the bandages, and just tape it on there. That way, at the very least, I don't rest the scar on something. I don't think that there's much of a chance of it getting infected, but no. You're telling me about headphones, and you tell me, and you recommend Bose headphones? You're making my eye twitch here, man. You're making my Bose. You know, Bose headphones aren't awful, but I'm above such things. Bose are for the plebeians. Those are people that don't know any better. I'm an audio producer and a creator, and I'm supposed to know better. Their noise canceling is the best. The Bose noise canceling in particular, the Bose Quiet Comfort headphones are bar none the best noise canceling. I have, oh my gosh, these things right here. Let me tell you about these things. So I can't really use these for the stream because they're Bluetooth headphones. And the delay on Bluetooth is ridiculous. I guess I could use these if I was just going to listen to the music and the news squawk and notifications and everything. But I really like to hear myself. I feel that I speak differently and I speak better when I can hear myself. But I digress. These have noise canceling. It's pretty good. I'm always surprised when I turn it on and I realize the ambient sounds out there that it's canceling out that I never noticed before. And you got to realize that noise canceling is best at those kinds of like ambient noises, like because they're meant for the plane, right? But these are skull crushers, and they have like this vibration built into them. So they have a vibration to try to duplicate the feeling of really, really low subfrequencies, because really, really low subfrequencies, you don't really hear them as much as you feel them. And there's no way that a set of headphones is going to generate bass frequencies large enough for you to feel them. So the headphone itself just vibrates. And it does a pretty good job. I really, really like it. It's great for like electronic dance music and drum and bass and stuff. Most of the time it's too much, but there's a knob you can like turn it up and down. I love those things. So those are like my casual listening headphones. I don't use them too much unless like I'm reading and I really want to drown the kids out, or like we're flying around vacation. These headphones came with the audio interface. Basically, I got an audio interface. It was like on a really good deal. So they sell this combo package where you get the Focusrite Scarlett audio interface, these headphones, and a Scarlett branded microphone, which isn't bad either. And I mean, the headphones and the microphone are not top of the line microphones or anything, but for most people's use cases, they get the job done. And somebody was reselling it for like $50 or something. So like, I got the audio interface cheaper than I thought I would be able to get it, and I got the whole package. But for those of you that missed the stream on Monday, I have a set of Pioneers. These are supposed to be Pioneer's producer headphone. And we've had these for, I want to say we got these before the pandemic. So I want to say I've had these for 5 years. I replaced the ear cups on them. I went and I got sheepskin ear cups for these because the material, and you can see it here on the headband, kind of barely. The leather material like rubs off. It isn't very durable. So these headphones suck. Like the sound profile that I get out of them, I really like. Some people don't like it. They think it sounds too muddy, but I really liked it. You get really powerful bass out of these. And it's detailed and accurate bass. So those headphones were really good for producing. And if I really wanted to come in and fine tune details, although I have a subwoofer now, I probably should use that. But if I don't want to wake everybody up, it was good for those. But like when one ear doesn't work anymore, and that drives me crazy. So we're not using those anymore. We're using these as a stopgap. I ordered a new set of headphones. I have not heard a thing. Well, I got like all of the confirmation emails and everything, but I haven't seen a thing about like it shipping or anything like that. So I'm thinking they must be out and not saying anything, and I won't get an update for like weeks until they send it out or something. So it might be like this for a while. I'm thinking. Well, let's double check that actually. Yeah. Nothing new. I wonder if they have like a blog or spaces. They have like a Twitter and an Instagram and stuff. This is the sort of thing that like if they got their Danish studio. Well, their Twitter hasn't posted any updates since like August 13th, so. Because I ordered it, I'm like 3 to 5 days shipping. Okay, so maybe we'll get it Friday, but I'm kind of thinking we might not even get it next week, which sucks. I want to be, yeah. Wanna switch. Oh well, whatever. But anyways, the whole point of that was these headphones are different. The volume levels are different, and so I don't know how loud it is for you guys. And I think that, you know, I used Spotify yesterday on the desktop, turned it up, and so I had to turn it back down. Didn't turn it down low enough. Hal says volume on September contract. Which one is this? Is that ZN? 6 million, and the December contract 5 million. Well, I will bet you that by the end of the day, the volume on the December contract will be higher. The liquidity providers move. I can tell you that much. So that's one thing that's really interesting, actually. Like for rollover, when do you roll over? Roll over when the volume moves. But I kind of think that you roll over when the liquidity itself moves. for our purposes, I think that makes more sense. Like the thing is like say you're a big player where like the rollover matters, right? You have a position, you have to roll it over into the next month's contract. You're doing like a momentum strategy or something like that. I kind of feel like that by the time it's conclusive and the volume has moved over into the other contract, that like it's maybe already too late. Like your opportunities for best execution on that roll are maybe past. But that would be something that maybe we would need to backtest and so forth, right? Like how you can come in and do the backtesting. Like I roll over when the liquidity, well, I don't know how you would be able to do it historically, but with the liquidity. But let's just say that you roll over 1 day before first call, for instance, versus when the volume switches. And does that make a difference? That could maybe be backtestable. I'm talking to somebody on Discord that's realizing that manual backtesting is pointless. It's like, well, in order to really know something, you're gonna need like 10,000 trades. I'm like, that would take me 10 years to do. Yeah, that's why manual backtesting is pointless. I hate to say it, nobody wants to hear it, but if you're going to do systematic trading of some sort, you need to learn how to program. You really do. If you're going to trade on intuition, different story. But if you're going to do any kind of systematic trading, you need to be a programmer. It's not that hard to learn how to program. You can do it. I know most people don't want to do that, but that's the world that we live in. You're just not going to be competitive unless you can program it. I do need to give my arm a break here because the inside of the elbow is like getting pretty red. Like having stuff up against my skin is reacting. I'm not allergic to it. It would be a much stronger reaction than that, but the skin is getting tired of it. So we let it out most of the day, put it back in for the kids and sleep. I think that should be fine. Well, let's come around and see if we got any other information. You know, things are starting to ramp up on the political campaign side, but I'm still kind of looking at things and feel like that some of the news cycle is still a little slow and quiet. So, prepare yourself, because I think that come next week, you're going to start to get a real storm of information being thrown at you, right? I guess the most major thing that we saw yesterday was that Kamala Harris gave in on the debate rule changes. I think that maybe the Kamala Harris campaign thought that the rule changes that they were proposing were pretty non-consequential, and that the Trump campaign would just like totally be okay with it. But the problem is that they played this game and were all tough negotiators with, the debates, and saying that you should do the debates that you agreed to with Biden and all of that. So he says, okay, if that's what you want to do, then we'll agree to that. But then they come back and they say, oh, no, but actually, we do want to change the rules still. Right? So did you read Donald Trump's tweet about this? Let me find this. Hold on. Is it this one? Because I opened it. No. It's not that one. Man, he was, I tell you straight up, he was not happy yesterday, I think. He was not happy yesterday, Donald Trump. Oh, where is it? Oh, I have to go and, he tweets a lot of stuff on Truth Social. I guess I need to pull up and find it over here. This one right here. I have reached an agreement with the radical left Democrats for a debate with Comrade Kamala Harris. It will be broadcast live on ABC Fake News, by far the nastiest and most unfair newscaster in the business, on Tuesday, September 10th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The rules will be the same as last CNN debate, which seemed to work out well for everyone, except perhaps crooked Joe Biden. The debate will be stand up, and the candidates cannot bring notes or cheat sheets. We have also been given assurance by ABC that this will be a fair and equitable debate, and that neither side will be given the questions in advance. No Donna Brazil. Harris would not agree to the Fox News debate on September 4th, but that date will be held open in case she changes her mind or flip-flops, as she has done on every single one of her long-held and cherished policy beliefs. A possible third debate, which would go to NBC Fake News, has not been agreed to by the radical left. God bless America. You think that Harris will get the questions in advance anyways? Well, it is pretty hard to keep a lid on that. So, well, actually, maybe not. Maybe not. Because, here's the thing. Like, the way that CNN did that is not necessarily the way that every debate goes. Because one way that you could do the debate is you could say, hey, you debate moderators, you three, you are responsible for making up the questions. And you're the only ones that know the questions. And then if it leaks, then you know that it was one of those three people that leaked it, right? So that gives them pretty good incentive to not leak it. So I don't think it's unreasonable to expect that they won't get the questions. But no, I don't think that they make them up on the fly. Like, I think that they like write them down and everything, but it's they only do it amongst themselves, and they don't collaborate with anyone outside of the thing. And I'm not saying that that's the way that this debate is going to do it. I'm just saying that is one way that it is done. She will change her mind tomorrow and demand that it be done on the moon. Oh, you're saying they should? Well, I think that for a debate like that it would be best for you to come up with the questions ahead of time, because the last thing that you want to do is like come after the debate and be like, oh yeah, I wanted to talk about this policy and this subject and this subject, and I didn't get to it. If you have a plan, you know the topics that you're going to discuss, now you can kind of like now you can kind of manage things. Now you can kind of say, okay, well, we've spent so much time on this subject. I'm okay giving it a little bit more subject because of the way that they're talking about it. But we're also going to talk about this and this. And so, we can manage the time and stuff like that. I tell you what, if everybody had the opportunity to have the presidential candidate in their home for dinner where they could ask any question that they wanted, politics would be completely different, man. Would be completely different. These people that really excel in the media and do really good with like, they got all of the name recognition and all of the favorable media, like especially in local elections, man. This is the one that drives me crazy the most, is that the people in power are manipulating the rules of local elections to basically give the people that have the most media recognition already the biggest advantage. Like, media recognition is a huge advantage already, and they just kind of like move everything into an arena where like that's all that matters. As an example, to get on the ballot, you have to get a certain amount of signatures. So that just means whoever hires the signature gatherers are going to be on the ballot. And the young upstart that's like new but knows what they're talking about isn't going to stand a chance. So like when you have caucuses where that is the thing, it's like there's a set number of delegates, and the people that are running for office go to those delegates and make their case, and we'll like call the delegates up individually, set up dinner appointments and that sort of a thing. The results that you get are completely different, I'm telling you. And these kind of rich people that have all of the name recognition and win everything don't have the same advantage. You get a lot better leaders that way, I think. But anyways, so I think you would read this, and a lot of this is like classic Trump. Okay, he's putting his jabs in there and all of that, but to me, when I read this, I detect a tinge of animosity that was not there before. I detect a tinge of animosity on Trump's part that was not there before. Like, he is upset that Kamala Harris tried to play games negotiating the debates. Because look, this is the guy that wrote The Art of the Deal. He prides himself on his negotiation. And you're going to try and pull a fast one on that? Oh, well, we didn't agree on this and we didn't agree on that. For a negotiator like Donald Trump, that sort of a thing, that's like, you're not negotiating with me in good faith. That will piss him off. I think he's pissed off about it. I also think he's still sore about the ABC News thing, because he's got a court case with them, right? I think it's personal now. So like when it was Joe Biden, of course Trump didn't like Biden, but honestly, Biden hated Trump a lot more than Trump hated Biden. like Biden at this point is like totally consumed by his hate for Trump. Biden's whole presidency was like attacking Trump when it should have been like, this guy should be going away now. Under normal circumstances, Trump would be gone now. You lose an election, and then everybody leaves you, and you don't, never after that. I guess maybe in this case, part of it was that the contention that he actually did win and that the election was stolen from him is maybe part of how Trump is able to stick around. But I also think that Biden played into it. Because Biden is just like so triggered by Trump. He just can't let it go. He just can't stop talking about it. The only time that Biden never gets animated these days is when he's talking about how much he hates Donald Trump, right? But Donald Trump is just kind of like, well, Biden's kind of stupid. So that kind of like that fire wasn't there. Like the debates between Trump and Hillary were way more fireworks and interesting to watch than the debates between Trump and Biden in 2020. The debate between Trump and Biden in 2020 were kind of like meh, right? But now I'm detecting that animosity there. So I'm thinking that debate between Trump and Kamala Harris will be a lot more like the debates with Hillary. I think that they're going there. I also think that there's this other thing about, Kamala Harris is fake. And I see that. I really think that that's the case. The big one yesterday was that now she supports the border wall. That's clearly like not a position that she held. She's taking on positions based on political strategy and not, her deeply held beliefs or anything like that. I think that really bothers him too. So I really think that over the past week that like the nature and tenor of the race has changed a little bit. How about them efforts to keep our that whole thing is funny. But you know what? Like they've always played those games. Those games have always been going on behind the scenes. It's just nobody ever cared. Like they did all this stuff to try and keep him off of the ballot, and now they're doing all of this stuff to keep him on the ballot, which I think is kind of interesting because it's like, okay, if you got put on the ballot and you have to stay there because you got on, doesn't that? Why is the same thing not apply for Joe Biden? Joe Biden dropped out. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. So weird. Could depend on the rules of the state and everything. Yeah. Obviously it's because RFK would take more votes from Trump. But we're talking about how you sort that out legally. If he would take more votes from if he would take more votes from Joe Biden, then obviously they would just let him come off and they wouldn't challenge it. But now that you've challenged it, how does the judge rule on things? Now you're getting into legal theory. I don't think it really matters, though. Like, I think that the people that would vote for RFK are likely to do what RFK wants. Those people that wanted to vote for RFK but would now vote for Trump, they probably aren't going to vote for Trump because RFK told them. Unless they're third-party spoilers anyways, and then it would be the case that, like, if RFK wasn't on the ballot, maybe they just wouldn't vote, or they vote for some other third-party candidate, right? Now, another thing I should discuss is, like, on the political race, and we talked about this on stream yesterday, but I feel like it bears repeating because when I'm going around the internet and looking at things, it looks like everybody kind of missed what was going on there. Yesterday, there was an Axios story about Kamala Harris basically adopting a pro-border wall position. Well, I don't think that she's necessarily adopting a pro-border wall position as much as she's adopting a pro-bipartisan border agreement position. So what's really going on is that Kamala Harris wants to knock Donald Trump for shooting down the bipartisan bill that was floated earlier this year. That's what this is really about. The left thinks that is like this devastating quiver in their arsenal that You had the opportunity to fix the immigration issue and you decided no because you thought that it would help your campaign if it wasn't solved yet. No. The deal was a bad deal. That's what will happen. This is I bet you money, come up during the debate, and Kamala Harris will deflect that, oh, she's flip-flopping on it by saying, well, I like this agreement. Donald Trump shut it down because he thought it would hurt his election bid. And then what Donald Trump is going to do is he's going to go, no, it was a bad deal. And then he's going to list all of the reasons why it was a bad deal. That's what's going to happen. But it is going to happen, and that is Kamala Harris's strategy. You know what I see in the Kamala Harris campaign? I've kind of been thinking about, like, how do you describe the Kamala Harris campaign from, like, a strategy perspective? Because there's this whole thing that she's like a flip-flopper. But I think that there's kind of something, I think I can go a little bit deeper than that. And the only allegory that I can make is, like, comparing it to a video game. So, like, have you ever played a video game like shooters are a really good example. Like, maybe you're playing Halo with your friend or whatever, and you're really good at it. You've got good aim, you've got good movement, like, you have the mechanics down and you're a good player, right? And then you have your friend and they're new to the game. But you know what they did? They went on YouTube and they watched all of the YouTube videos about what the meta for the game was. And so they know what all of the best weapons to use are and where all of the best camping spots are and all of the most annoying tactics to use. And what do? They cheese you. They just play the most cheddary game possible. And you kick their ass, right? You have the mechanics, you're going to be better than them, you're going to beat them out. But it's going to be annoying AF every step of the way, because their entire play style is cheesy. That's the Kamala Harris campaign. Every decision that they make is based on, oh, we're these smart political players. What is the neat little political tactic that we can kind of come in and do here to kind of get our advantage? Oh, let's make sure that RFK still has to be on the ballot in our swing states. Let's make sure that, all of these teeny little things. It's cheese. It's a cheese campaign. The Kamala Harris campaign strategy is to cheese you to death. The problem is that you have to have good fundamentals in politics, as with any other game. That means a platform that you understand and believe in that helps Americans. Kamala Harris doesn't have that. All she has is that she wants to be in power and what people want and tell people what they want. But everybody knows that she's just saying it because that's what the polls and everything tell her to say. I think that's really going to play out in the long run, is really going to hurt Kamala Harris. I don't think that you're going to get people to come out and vote for her in the way that they did for Biden. And it was so close with Biden. This is, again, where I come down to it. I really don't think that Kamala Harris stands a chance. And the later on it gets, the more apparent this will become. And you will start to see people abandon her early. Yeah. I said it. Like I'm saying, mid-October, you're going to start seeing people jump ship. Once it becomes clear that she's not going to win. Be like, well, I wasn't involved in this disaster. I think it's going to happen. And I guess to the other thing, the whole RFK thing, it seems to me that the endorsement of RFK and now Tulsi Gabbard, it shouldn't surprise anybody that they're endorsing Donald Trump. It was always something that was within the realm of possibilities, not likely, but within the realm of possibilities. It seems to be having more of an impact than I would have thought. Because you got this, hey, there's all of these Democrats that are, the Democrat Party is not the Democrat Party anymore. It's so weird that people don't seem to pick this up. Like you would think after everything that's happened in the last 12 years that it would be blatantly obvious that the political ground in the United States has just fundamentally changed. But so many people seem to not get it. They miss it. Like they think that Donald Trump is just this political aberration, a megalomaniac narcissist that is popular, cult leader, whatever. And when that cult leader is gone, then everything will go back to normal. No, that's not it at all. He's built a coalition. He's brought together groups of people that have common interests and helped them realize that they have a common interest. And now that they know, it's not going back. When Donald Trump is gone, there will be somebody else that will pick up the hat. Because now that those people have a common interest, they're going to go and they're going to vote for the person that promotes their interest the best. And that group, that coalition is so big that it just completely floods the rest of the party. So there are some people in the Republican Party that, yes, they were Republicans and they were conservatives, but they were also establishment. They were people that were benefiting from the way that things were. And they're not going to like it. And guess what? Like, they can kick rocks because they're screwed. Like, that party has changed. And it's never going to be that party again. The Liz Cheneys of the world, they're done. She's never going to be relevant in politics again. There might have been some staffer on her who's like, well, if we just lay low until Donald Trump is gone and then we can become president or something. No, it was never going to happen. Because again, like, the whole fundamental of the country has changed. Well, maybe a lot of people, not everybody sees this. Or rather, I think it's odd that there are some people that haven't realized this yet. Okay. But there is a good portion of people, especially people that voted for Donald Trump, that do understand this, right? People don't understand that it happened on the Democrat Party as well. The Democrat Party is not the Democrat Party anymore. I mean, I would blame Barack Obama, but I think that there are kind of like larger dynamics going on here that were kind of pushing it in that direction anyways. And all Barack Obama did was say, we're going to support the establishment. Biggest way that he did that was that when issues about spying on Americans and privacy and, deep state kind of issues came up, he sided with the deep state, make the Democrat Party an establishment party. And that was really all he did. And now you've kind of come into this thing. So it has now become, Democrats are the establishment party that like things the way that they are and are trying to keep it in this way. And the Republican Party is the anti-establishment party. Now, this is kind of a problem for the Democrats because that was never their base. Their whole base was that they were the outside, especially in the Bush years, right? But the whole idea of the left is they're the ones that are going to come in and change things. Usually meaning towards communism, but, I'm more focused here on that it is to change things. And so that's what you're seeing here with Kamala Harris, is that that's the upstart side of the party, right? The we want communism side of the party, had a little bit of luck there to get their person as the top candidate. And what is she doing? She's going full on all in establishment, right? People aren't going to show up for that. But people might say in their head, well, I know what she's saying is that she supports a border wall or whatever, but we really know that she's our communist ringer that, once she gets in power, she's going to do what we want. Yeah. Okay. Most voters don't, non-engaged voters don't think like that. Those non-engaged voters, they're just not going to be engaged. They're just not going to show up. People want change, so why vote for Democrat or Republican? There's no change there, just vote independent. Nah, see, so if we're talking about like from a practical perspective, more practical perspective. So I've been talking more from an analyst perspective. What's going on in the politics? What are those dynamics in there, and how might that affect the way that the race plays out? To help you understand why I think that Kamala Harris doesn't stand a very good chance. Okay, but if you want more like my opinion, like, well, there's this problem or this problem, how might we go about trying to solve those problems? Okay, third party is probably the worst path that you can possibly go down. So at the end of the day, parties are really just teams, right? The party shifts its positions over time in response to what the team needs. And when I say the team, it's a group of voters that have common interests, right? So if you're going to make a third party, what you're essentially saying is that I have a separate group of interests from everybody else, a third group of interests, and I need to have a party that best reflects that third set of interests, is really kind of what you're saying. That's probably not what you think you're saying. Probably what you think you're saying is, I believe X, Y, and Z, this party doesn't reflect that very well, this party doesn't reflect that very well, I don't get the results that I want from them, let's try a third path, right? It never works out, because all you end up doing is just splintering the other parties, and you never gain enough traction to actually get what you want. You're actually reducing your chances of getting what you want by splintering off. The way that you do this is you get everybody in your party to realize that what the common interests of your group is, and that there is a benefit in promoting that common interest. You do what Donald Trump did. You come in and you say, hey, there's all of these Americans that have been suffering for the past 20, 30 years because of globalism, and we should stop that. This isn't in line with our conservative values, and it's this huge unserved portion of people that completely turns the tide of battle in our favor. And now all of a sudden, he owns the party because of that coalition that he created. He has completely flipped the script. He has completely changed the direction in what the Republican Party cares about. Yeah, there's still some old people there in power like Mitch McConnell, okay, that are kind of dragging their feet. But they're not going to be there much longer. The future belongs to the Make America Great Again movement. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. We'll show that at least people now. You're just kicking against bricks. No, you have to. But one of the key realizations that you have to make there is that a lot of electoral politics just comes down to that people have competing interests, right? Ideally, we should be able to find a set of interests that we can promote that benefit everybody. Okay. You really get into a big problem when there's this group and their interests are diametrically opposed to this group. And now you're just going to fight it out, and whoever wins, that one group is going to do really well, and the other group is going to do terribly. That's kind of the dichotomy that the country is in right now. At least I kind of feel like that is what it is when Democrats win. It's not good for the country as a whole, because 50% of the country is not going to tolerate being screwed over for that long. Eventually, they're just going to say, to hell with this, and split off, right? So, most voters, they approach things from the perspective of, like, what do I believe? And let's find the candidate that is most in line with what I believe. But once you realize that incentives tend to predict behavior better than ideology, you start looking at politics from the perspective of, like, what incentives do people have? What common interests do people have? it's a different game, and it's much more strategic, and you're more effective at getting what you want, and it's much more effective at predicting what's going to happen. Did well with the IB breakout trade yesterday. Take it again. Well, I still really want to know what was with the sell at the beginning here, right? But I mean, that's kind of been the theme for the last week or so, right? Is that we're getting relatively decent moves that don't really have any rhyme or reason behind them, or which is to say that we are not able to sniff out what is driving that flow. So that means I sit on my hands. Could they attack those highs again, all the way back up to like what, 09? It's within the realm of possibilities, and I don't really think that we have anything that give us a good idea about whether it will or it won't. Other than that, we do have an auction today, and things are still probably going to be pretty tight. Okay, now Saf, he asked a question. Do you believe that Democrats focus on demagoguery? The Democrat strategy overall, and the sort of like deep psychological trauma that seems to drive Democrats the most is fear of social rejection. They're afraid that they will be rejected by their peers. This is a real fundamental driving force in humans, because the humans' biggest adaptation, you talk about like, why are humans the dominant species on the planet, etc., right? The innovation that really drove humans to be the dominant force on the planet is the tribe. We are tribal animals. Monkeys are tribes, and humans have just developed increasingly more advanced and sophisticated tribes. This is really the long and short of it. And all of the other big adaptations that we have that give us big advantages, like language, our reasoning and intuition skills, all of that stuff were things that we evolved in order to better interact with the tribe. Okay, that is our biggest survival mechanism, benefit that we have is the tribe. And so humans have evolved to be very fearful of being kicked out of the tribe. And a lot of our behavior has to do with our relationship to the tribe. For instance, teenagers tend to go through this thing where they are more likely to want to get away from the tribe and go to a different tribe, because you have to do that to like get more genetic diversity, right? So they hate the tribe, they'll go out to visit a neighboring tribe, get married or whatever, come back, all of a sudden, actually family is great. I was totally wrong. That's, most teenagers do that. It's a tribal thing. Okay, so this fear, if you get kicked out of the tribe, your survival declines significantly. It's hard to survive on your own. So humans have this inbuilt fear of being kicked out of the tribes. And the Democrat Party, their primary influence strategy is to utilize that, to make people afraid of that social rejection, that the people around them will reject them and kick them out of the tribe. So that kind of results, demagoguery is a different thing, because they very much focus on like Donald Trump is a demagogue and, dictator or whatever. But they play on this fear that like, hey guys, the popular thing is that Trump is a dictator and Kamala Harris is the cool kid. So you better jump on board. Otherwise, you might get left behind and kicked out of the tribe. And they play this thing all the time where it, like you don't agree with me on this issue, you're out of the tribe, right? Democrats are constantly trying to cancel each other, right? It's kind of funny to watch it like turn its head on itself, right? When you look at Democrat policies, Democrat ideas or whatever, like Democrat will push a policy and it's not very popular and the American public rejects that policy. You will never once, never, ever, ever in a million years, ever hear a Democrat say, well, maybe it was a bad idea. They'll never say that. They'll always say, you know what? We just didn't present it correctly. They always think that the key to everything is marketing it correctly. Which plays into that again, is like, how do we convince the other people in our tribe over to our way? I say that the best way, the best persuasion technique is to be right. If you're right, everything else is so much easier. It's so much easier to promote something that's correct. I'm terrible. I think I am terrible at persuasion. Maybe I'm not terrible. I don't know. I'm probably not self-aware enough on that particular skill. I'm probably not self-aware enough on that particular skill to even know like what my skill level is. But I personally think that I have a hard time with persuasion, right? But I still do okay. Why? Because I'm correct about things. You know, like I actually have a really good, solid, proven information to share with people, and that's what we live off of, right? So much easier to just be right. But you know, don't try telling that to a Democrat. That's kind of why politics tend to go the way that they do. I don't know. It's kind of an interesting thing when you start talking about it at that level, because eventually the conclusion that you probably will come to is you realize that the systems that we have are really built around the tribes, and some of those systems don't scale well. Like democracy, there's some scaling issues with democracy, to be honest with you. There are. One of the issues is what do you do when you build a society that has two diametrically opposed groups with interests that directly oppose each other, and you're trying to do that in democracy? That causes problems. That can end your country. And we haven't really developed very good systems to deal with that. The American system, the Republican system, has kind of been able to deal with some of the other problems that are related to like direct democracy. Like, oh, well, we'll elect a representative first, all that. But there's other issues in there that now that we've gotten that part figured out and we've scaled up a little bit, and now we're running into other scaling issues. That's why the elites are just saying, well, the solution to this is to just give us elites all of the power. Man, I tell you what, this so last time I made a comment here on ZN, it was like we were here at 05. You know, were we going to go and test the highs again? Maybe, maybe not. I was kind of like, I don't know what's going on. They just swept back across the range and are testing the lows just like that. Do you think the First Amendment is no longer respected as it used to be? There are significant forces in the United States today that do not believe in freedom of speech, yes. And there are significant forces in Europe that you never had free speech in Europe. Everybody kind of thought that they had free speech in Europe, but the truth is that it just never mattered. And now that it matters in Europe, people are finding out actually they don't have free speech. So free speech is very much under threat right now in Western society, yes. Because the left, again, the Democrat Party isn't the Democrat Party anymore. The Democrat Party of like Bill Clinton is dead. It's gone. It's not that anymore. Those were like liberals, like true liberals. They were concerned about individual liberty and freedom of speech and things. That is not the Democrat Party anymore. They have completely left their base behind. They have completely left their base behind to pursue the establishment power. And then at the same time, their base has gone the complete other direction in pursuit of basically socialism. And so the part of the party that was free speech, rights, yada, 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 is in the wilderness right now. Some of them are finding a home in the Republican Party, but some of them just can't stomach it. At least you have guns. Maybe. Here's the thing. Is that, okay, so if you have guns, that does kind of limit what the government's going to do to you, right? Okay, if the government's just going to go around and start killing people, extrajudiciously, now you can do something about it. Government's going to think twice about doing that. Not that you would be able to overthrow the government per se, okay, but it's enough of a deterrent that government's not going to want to get into that, because then everybody else is going to see that there's the government is killing it, there's this bad, and that has bad public perception that hurts the people in power. They don't want those sorts of things to happen. So that's where the Second Amendment kind of comes in. But the problem that I'm seeing is that most of the stuff that's going on is it turns out that infringing upon people's fundamental freedoms, in particular freedom of speech, is usually not enough to actually drive people into action, or at least enough people into action to do anything about it. So like what's going on with the Telegram guy? Well, in France, the Telegram guy was arrested because he runs a service that has fully encrypted communications. They can't get the information. And so you're not allowed to run a service like that. They're going to arrest him. Well, is anybody going to do anything about it? You going to rebel against your government because of Telegram? Probably not. Like, people were upset about it for a day. Most people have forgotten about it. You let the government take it piece by piece, and everybody, it's never enough for anybody to really get upset and do anything, and your rights just get slowly eroded away. It's basically already happened in Europe, and it kind of, the US looks like it's on the path for it to happen here, and I'm not sure if you can stop it. The only thing that's really in the way of that is having presidents that really strongly believe in those things, which right now is basically like Donald Trump, and that's it. The Democrat Party doesn't believe in those things at all. They don't care. They want power. If you're gonna vote left, just let me warn you. Now I'm not speaking as the political analyst here. I'm speaking from my own personal, like, I've gone into politics. I know a lot about it. I know a lot about the history, how things go. Personal advice to you: if you're gonna vote for Democrats, just know no sacrifice is too great to be sacrificed on the altar of the far left. They will sacrifice you eventually at some point, because what they actually care about is power. All right. Well, so now that's probably about as far as I can go into politics today, unless you have other questions about What was I going to look at here? Okay, doesn't look like there's anything too much new here. I'm still really curious. Well, gold has been moderating. So like the thing is, what's with the sell-off in gold and silver and everything today? It's kind of a little bit weird. There was definitely like a currency move today, this move up in the dollar. Now it's kind of been back and forth, and the treasuries have started to go back and forth as well. That hasn't been as much of a back and forth in the Japanese yen. The Japanese yen just like sold off and just kind of stayed there. So that kind of still has me on the thinking that maybe there's something going on in Japan that I missed. I suppose it's still a possibility that it's something to do with Nvidia as well. But I'm not really seeing any kind of like news or anything that I think really helps us. Still selling here. Wondering. Oh, okay. So yesterday's lows all the way down at 27. There is 114 even. Is like one place that you might gravitate toward. Not really a whole lot to help me be like, yeah, they're definitely going to continue selling. In fact, when I look at the cumulative delta and everything, it's a little bit too whippy. Like, so you see this. Okay, like I could guesstimate that the overall flow is sell, but like, look at how rough the line is, right? It's not. We want a good, smooth, consistent line. The more of a smooth, consistent line it is, the better. And we're not quite getting that. It means that, you know, there's going to be a lot of, oh, I think it's going to go lower, and then it comes back 2 ticks on you before actually going the way that you wanted it to, right? More adverse experience, because the flows are a little bit more mixed. It's not a clear imbalance. So 114 could be a spot that they might go to, but in this situation, I don't think that I have enough of an edge where I would really want to try and take a position on it. Do you have a bid-ask spread indicator that plots the spread over time? So I have a lot of indicators that can kind of do similar things to that, but that's one that for what you're specifically asking to do, you should probably just use the built-in NinjaTrader indicator. So let me show you how you do that. I'm gonna create a new chart here. so that I don't screw up my existing charts. I'm gonna put it on, well, let's do it on ES. Okay. And we're gonna make it a minute chart. 5 minutes, sure. Okay, so here's a 5-minute chart of ES. If I go into indicators, NinjaTrader has a built-in indicator called Priceline. And under there, you can see that they have show ask line, show bid line. And you can do that. Now, I think that don't they have a way for it to be not a line? I think I can just change it to, oh, that's dash. Well, so there's that one that can show it to you, like what it is live. I think that there's another one. Hold on. Maybe not. Now I have some. This was something that like I specifically programmed something for once too. But I wonder if I still have that. I mean, you could potentially make an indicator that is just like the length of the spread, and it's a sub-series, and if there is a gap in the spread, you could see it go up. That sort of a thing. We could certainly make that. Wouldn't be very hard. Trying to think if I have one that like really clearly does this. My pulled prices, what that does is it shows you that like it skipped a price. So like it traded across an area. Like there was volume at 02 and there was volume at 03, but there was no volume at 02 half because the offers just completely skipped or whatever the deal was, right? That's what pulled prices does. So that's kind of related. Maybe I don't have one that's as specific as what you're looking for. I bet you that there's ones that already exist out there, but I guess if you really want, we could program it. I kind of feel like it's definitely something that you can chart and everything, but I personally, I wouldn't waste space with it. Like I wouldn't waste screen real estate with that as an indicator because you can just look at the DOM and see it there on the DOM, right? And it's not something that I would expect you to be able to gain any kind of like historical pattern sort of a thing based off of. It's like when that's the condition, it matters. But like that condition happened 5 minutes ago, and what is there some pattern? Like no, it's not gonna be. Would you ever want to set up an investment fund? Yeah. I've been doing some investigation on that sort of thing, but so far I haven't really found a long-term strategy that I'm like really into. So momentum is a strategy that we could employ and would be, good for, momentum is really the strategy for our space with futures and all of that. But it's kind of been struggling lately. So I would need to have a lot more than that. He wants it recorded. Yeah. Yeah, I really think you're wasting your time. Let's make it. 3. New indicator. Bid ask spread. Let's just do bid ask price first. I'm gonna pull some of these other things up so that I can just kind of copy lines, right? So we're gonna add 2 price series. One is gonna be bid. One is gonna be ask. Ask is gonna be red. Bid is gonna be, well, let's do cornflower blue and orange, actually. Okay. And then I think there's a method get current ask. Yep. You just say values 0, 0 equals get current ask. Values 0 or 1, 0 equals get current bid. Except for that, I think, because we said bid was first, so we gotta flip these around. Get current ask. Save. I'm watching your stream whilst analyzing company balance sheets. Good. Well, I mean, that's the other thing is that I manage a small little portfolio. I'd like to put more money into it, but too many competing forces on my finances. It would be nice to be single and all you have to care about is what you want to do. Okay, now this one, this SPSF bid ask price, there's going to be some problems with it because it's going to make a sub series and yeah. Now that's interesting because it didn't do both of them. No errors though. So like I expected it to do that because really, we want it up on this and yada yada yada, right? Okay. But which one is it doing? It's doing the orange line. So where's the blue line? I'm going to comment this line out and try it. Do you ever prefer to buy low market? I do. Well, so, the market cap is not necessarily what I look at. Market cap is a really good filter, right? It's like, I'm looking for stock with these certain types of properties. You're going to get a lot of weird outliers that aren't actually what you want. So you slap market cap on there. And now you're going to get more serious companies that are probably more fitting the properties that you want, right? What I look for more than like small market cap is high beta, right? So I'm willing to take on more risk than the market in general. So the stocks that I invest in individually, I want to have a few of them that are high beta. I'm going to have few that are maybe low beta or in line with the S&P 500. But I want the beta of my portfolio overall to be higher than 1. Right. Okay. I think that. Did I actually compile that? And now I just get a blue line. Oh. Is it because the current bid and the current ask that I'm getting are coming out to be the same value? That sucks. Okay, so hold on. We can do it like this. What would be the best way to do this? Hold on. Find Do I want it on market depth? No. I think I want it on volume. Because that should make it work on tick replay. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. E.bid. We're just gonna do nothing over here. So there's some disadvantages of doing it this way, but Davies went short there, huh? Does look heavy. Remove. So now if I add this one on here, I should expect to not actually see anything initially. Yeah, that's correct. And then I go to data series and I add tick replay to it. Let's only load like 3 days. Tick replay is expensive. It takes a long time to run. Okay. Oh, but it's not giving me anything. Oh, is it because? Okay, yeah. I need to change one more thing about this. I actually need to say. Double. Why is it underlining that? Oh, because I put a space between the underscore and the bit. That's underscore bid this. underscore ask this. Let's just change this other thing to make it an overlay. True. I'll remove it and add it back in. Sorry, where did it go? It's not there. Oh, there it is. He's just hiding. There you go. And now you get the 2 lines. Kind of hard to see. But that's basically just saying what was the bid and the ask on the close. Now, there was kind of this weird thing, which is like the bid and ask can change. So maybe what you would want to say is like, what was the highest ask and the lowest bid during the time period? And that might tell you a little bit more. But what we could also do, so that one's just price, okay? So now that we have that, we can make a new one and we can say SPSF bid ask spread generates. And let's copy this stuff over to start with. That. Okay. But here what we can do is we can say let's make a new variable, spread underscore spread equals e dot ask minus e dot bid. Actually, double spread equals, and then we can say underscore spread equals max math.max. There we go. Of underscore spread and spread. And then give us the biggest spread during that time. And then we say over here, value of 0 equals underscore spread. Now coming back over here. Oh yeah, I need to copy that. You can just say public double underscore spread. It's not an overlay. Oh, but I do need one of these. Need a plot to actually be putting the data into. Okay, what is goodwill? It's a good question. This is a thing that I'm not going to be able to give you all of the like super details on it. But basically, goodwill is something that says like, I am a member. I have a business, and it is a prominent member of the community. And so, because it is such an important, part of the community, it's worth more, simply because of that, right? And that is the category of things that goes into goodwill. Okay, so goodwill is basically one of a few things that you can have in company valuations and balance sheets and things like that to measure intangible things. So a company might come in and say like, oh, we have a ton of goodwill, and it's just total bullshit BS, because like they can just make up a number, right? So that's going to be something that you're going to want to look at. like, okay, that might be a red flag if it's too high and the number that they're putting in there doesn't make sense, right? So that's the general idea. I would go and search about that, and you can probably, I'm sure that somebody probably breaks it out into like what are the different types of goodwill and all of that. There you go. So what is this saying? The bid-ask spread on the S&P 500 is basically always the same. It's always one tick. Wait, should it always be one tick? Or is that one tick, rather? It should be 0.75. I think that I might be doing something wrong here. Well, it's giving me a positive value, so that's correct. And it's giving me a constant value, so I think that that's correct. Well, you know what? There's an easy way to test this. Just go 10-year, something that's not so liquid and actually does have a spread. Oh, you know what I think is happening is I think that I'm getting a precision error. Okay, well, let's just print things. Print. Spread plus equals plus plus file. F5. Oh, that's weird. There we go. Yep. 3.832 minus 3.831 should be 0.001, but it's not. So do I need... Oh. You know what I think I have to do? Is I may just have to say spread equals math dot round spread comma and we want it to be what, 3 decimal places? 3 math dot spread comma 3. Try that. Hmm. There we go. Ah. But it's saying 0.019 at some points. That can't be right, is it? There. My keyboard has gone into some weird mode where when I press F5, it is doing something. So I need to look into that. My keyboard. Yeah, see, why is it 0.19 there? Well, another thing that we could say is int ticks equals spread divided by tick size. Let's see if that works. Dude, what's this crazy about? Crazy buying in the... Yeah, this is weird. It just looks to me, man, like it's a summer market where it doesn't take very much for the market to move, you know? Now, of course, I hit F5 and it... Ninja script. See, the spread on the 10-year is not 19 ticks. See, right now it's saying that it's 19, but then the most recent data points are not 19. It's 0.001. Very weird thing going on here. You know what? Programming in NinjaTrader, there's always a little bit of a surprise there, but I think this is something I can figure out. I thought it was easy. Easier than that. $1.001. Okay. Man, there's some real buying coming in here for sure. I haven't seen anything on my news squawk yet. I do see Gaza ceasefire deal largely a question that is going to be answered by Hamas leader Israeli showing serious of purpose in negotiations. So it could be related to Israel. And again, because it's a summer market, it just doesn't take too much. I don't think I need that. How is that working? This is something weird going on there. Hold on. So if I'm just gonna get rid of this for a second. Beta series, 10-year. Let's go to a 1-minute chart. 1 day, tick replay, candlestick. Okay. Clear this out. Indicators add. Free. It asks spread. How is that 13? Okay, so one thing is that I think I should say here, spread equals 0 at the end of every bar. Ah, there we go. I see what's going on. Is that when the spread increased, it was keeping that until it come back down. Now, is it ever giving me 0? It's not ever giving me 0, so that's correct. Okay. That was kind of a stupid little mistake. That was a silly little mistake. But now you get it. Now you can see it, right? Yeah. That would give you a spread. Gonna try programming it yourself? Well, I'm gonna leave that there. I will do that. Give it a good name. Maybe next time I publish an update to my free indicators, I'll include it in there. But you can see there it's pretty simple, right? There is a get current bid and get current ask method too that you can call from on bar update, but it seemed that was giving me the same value for some reason. But just keep in mind that there's some funkiness with precision here. Yeah, you can just copy it. So now that I have it up, though, now I can kind of show you. Okay, what happens? The spread is 1 to 2 ticks pretty much always, except for at the session change, when the extended session changes, and it takes it a second for them to bring the spread in. So it doesn't really, there's a little bit of a spike there, but it does, this is what you can see is like when there's a big price movement, the spread moves out a little bit, and that's especially in futures markets. That's probably the majority of what you can see. If you do cryptocurrencies, it might be different, but actually, if we came in and we did this, if we did 30, if we did the micro 30 year, because that has more of a real spread. Maybe. I might have just choked. Not choked, but it doesn't have any data. Oh no, wait, why is it 30, 08, 20? Oh no, wait, that's correct. Maybe instead of doing candlestick, I can do a box. No, I can do line. Come on, throw me a bone here. Let's not go ahead and do it. Time frame. Voting take replay. This is just saying that there's never been any volume ever. Okay, that has nothing to do with the indicator, does it? I don't think that NinjaTrader is pulling the historical data correctly for the 30-year. There's probably something like, you know what? I'm kind of sitting here like, just let it go, Seth. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. But, like, it's not like I'm doing anything better. 10-year. We go in and we edit that one. Here, save it in Discord for a second. Cancel micro 30-year. $1,000. That all looks correct. So maybe it's not the instrument settings. I don't know. I was kind of curious. Don't know. Doesn't like the 30-year. What about the 2-year? Oh, there you go. The 2-year works. I don't know what was wrong with the 30. Maybe I clicked the wrong one. Okay, now let's come over. Or actually, even better yet, can I do 5-year? Yeah, of course. There's nothing there. Bid ask spread. Ah, there you go. Now you can actually see the change. But still, yeah. When there's a little bit of volatility, market makers raise their bid. They increase their spread. You've never gotten a tick on the micro 30 year? Maybe that's the thing. Maybe nobody's traded it lately. Maybe nobody's traded it the last few days, at least. It does kind of seem to me that, like, the majority of what's going on here in the micro yield futures is either people directly playing the outrights in the micro 10-year, or people doing 2 and 10-year yield curve trades. There definitely has been times in the past where, like, the 30-year was trading and everything. I could probably make activity happen in there. But I would have to, like, know what price it's at and have Ninja Trader scroll to it and stuff. It's kind of weird. But it must be doing it because nobody's been trading those instruments the past few days. Which, you know, especially for summer is understandable. Anyways, what was my point? My point was, okay, yeah, you can do it, but I really don't see how it helps you with anything. I wouldn't waste screen real estate with it. We can waste live stream time with it because it shows you how to program things, and you might be able to get something from that and, you know, extend it a little bit that might tell you something interesting. Or at least, at the very least, it helps you understand how it deals with the spread and everything. But how Ninja Trader deals with market data and market depth data and everything. But yeah, I don't think it's something you put on a chart that will really help you. Let's see here. Totally forgot like everything that I was doing and talking about when we did that programming. That wasn't that long, was it? Well, we still got 30 minutes left. We had a pretty decent comeback up off of the low in the treasuries, but the range that we're trading here for this session is still incredibly tight. So I don't think that it's worth trading today. Next week's going to be super interesting, man. I think once we get out of the summer trading, it's going to get interesting. I think I'm excommunicado till next week. Really, Octavius? I mean, I think that not trading until next week is probably a good idea. But excommunicado, you didn't take that many hits from all this, did you? I'm concerned now. It's kind of, this is like, this period of the year just really sucks because it's like, okay, nothing's really going on. So what do you do with the time? Well, this is like a good time to research and everything, but like, there's not like a lot of news and things to talk about going on either. I guess programming really is a good place to go. That's why, when the guy mentioned it, was like, well, I don't think this is going to help you at all, but let's program it anyways. I went into it, right? Probably we should be spending our time back testing something, but I just don't really have anything like that going right now. I kind of like went through like my main list of things I was most interested in, and I haven't picked up the next list of things that I don't really. Maybe part of it is a motivation issue, man. Feel very demotivated this week. So it's funny because I've been super busy. I've been doing a lot of stuff at work, but the motivation is not there at all. Do you get? No, I do not. I do not get MBO data. I'm not going to spend $50 a month for that. How much more time do we have left? 8:42, so about 10 minutes. I am seeing something kind of weird in the 30-year, though. Like, there's some buying coming into the 30-year. It's still kind of trading like that. There may be people speculating on risk headlines out there and trying to make money on this speculation. Like, there's too many big guys out there that haven't learned the lesson that, you know, trading in this kind of environment is tends not to work out very well. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Adobe is the worst company ever. You're just now noticing, huh? Oh, Harris will sit down with CNN. Of course, CNN. Oh, look, here's this Decoding the Gurus subreddit. So, I just continue to find this whole thing so weird. The podcast is called Decoding the Gurus. What are they talking about? Okay, so there is an event. Rescue the Republic. Who's speaking at Rescue the Republic? Russell Brand, Tulsi Gabbard, Rhett Weinstein, Robert Malone, Heather Haging, I don't know that person, Derek White, Matt Tabby, more to be announced, and then artists, entertainers, and pop heroes that I don't know. Okay, so it's a conservative political event. What does that have to do with gurus? Like, is Russell Brand a guru? I mean, he might talk about something and give advice on something that he doesn't know anything about from time to time, but I really don't see Russell Brand as a guru. And I find it so weird that this subreddit really actually is conservative social media personalities that I don't like. Like, come on. Do they not nobody on this subreddit kind of like me? No? I wonder if I go and watch that podcast, Russell Brand would be, because in this example, it's Russell Brand is probably the most prominent on there, right? Maybe you could do Tulsi Gabbard, but do they have? Oh, let's see here. Let's find it. Decoding the Gurus. Do they have like a YouTube channel? I love it. A definitive tier list of modern gurus. Brett Weinstein and Russell Brands discuss spiritual elevation. Like, I can totally, like, there's one thing, it's like, okay, here's an influencer, he discussed a topic that they're not really an expert in, and there was misinformation in it. Okay, sure. Why isn't that decoding social media influencers that are wrong about things sometimes, right? Like, what makes Russell Brand a quote-unquote guru? I really don't think that fits with him, even with their definition of it. Oh, Lex Fridman. So there's one about Lex Fridman, because they really hate Lex Fridman for some reason. This channel actually isn't as big as I thought it would be. What? It only has 12,000 subscribers? I have more subscribers than these guys? Well, they probably have like a really big Spotify podcast or something like that. Right? Probably most people aren't watching it on YouTube. Even still, though, I'm surprised. The Guruometer of Destiny. Okay. Now, Andrew Huberman, he's a guru. He's a guru. That is to say, he's a person that presents himself as an expert on a specific topic, and his expertise is unauthorized, essentially. Right? I could see where, by their definition of a guru, maybe he would fit. Or not maybe. He would definitely fit. But, like, the one that I don't get is when we get into, like, well, okay, and Jordan Peterson is a different one because he is a guru on psychology, sociology sorts of things, right? But it's when you get into some of these more people that are really just like, okay, like Lex Friedman is not a guru. He just interviews people. But I wanted to see Russell Brand. See, like this one is about a specific conversation. I want one that's like, here's Russell Brand, and here's why we say that Russell Brand is, well, maybe let's do it this way. Decoding the Guru's Russell Brand. No, I don't think that they actually have a full one on him. He is good. I like how he carries. Who is he? Well, anyway. Who carries a giant rock? What? Anyways, I just see this subreddit, okay? And I'm just saying, explain to me how decoding the gurus is not actually just conservative influencers I don't like. Right? In his workout? Oh, well, okay, that's a different thing. Wait, who did I say again? Russell Brand carries a giant rock in his workout? So he does stones? Or were we Lex? I mentioned too many names there. You have to give the specific name who we're talking about. Oh, Alex Huberman. Yeah. I think he's full of shit, to be honest with you. I think that there are some things about Alex Huberman that, you know, like there can be some good, useful information in there. But I think that this is another one of those people that tends to go a little bit too far. Like they go beyond their expertise. I think that sometimes the subject matter that they're talking about, that they don't really know it as well as they're claiming. This is something that really, really irks me. Like, I don't think that I can hold myself up to be a quote-unquote guru on economics. I know a lot about economics. I'm going to talk about economics. I'm going to teach people about economics. Okay. But I don't know as much as like these PhDs. These guys that literally just sit around all day and read economic studies, and you bring up any one individual controversy in economics and they can list out like a bunch of different relevant studies that are, I can't do that, right? I'm not an expert on that level. And Alex Huberman is not an expert on that. He is a guy that he's smart and he's done a lot of research into these sorts of health issues and everything, but he doesn't have the full picture. He also, what was it that he did? Yeah, they tried to cancel him. I think it was justified, but what was it? Oh, no. Well, it wasn't that I think it was justified. Okay, this one was really interesting. So basically, it came out that Alex Huberman had been seeing like 3 different women at the same time and kind of lying to them, like playing them. And that to me, it was hypocritical. Like it was something that was very much like, you shouldn't be doing that. And it like directly goes against things that you've told your viewers to do. So I thought that that was a pretty massive hit at his reputation. It wasn't just like, oh, he was seeing multiple people. He was like manipulating them. He was doing something very wrong. You would be very upset if he did that to you, you know? It's just man, that one was a big deal. Has it affected his popularity? Maybe. Well, let's go look. Let's see here. Social Blade. Time for me to get going though. He has a YouTube channel, right? Superman Labs. Yeah, it's definitely this one. He doesn't have as many videos as I would have thought. Oh, come on. Show me the picture. Well, no picture, so I can't see. Anyways, guys, it's time that I get going. So I am going to stop the stream. I will see you guys tomorrow. Stay excellent.